Let's take a look at motivation and performance. Motivation is the willingness to achieve organizational objectives or go above and beyond. Motivational effort is needed to achieve objectives. An effort has three parts. Initiation of effort refers to how much effort we exert. Direction of effort refers to where to put efforts. Do I do job A or B? Persistence of effort refers to how long will be forthcoming. Do I keep pushing or let up? What's your motivational effort for this course? Managers need to answer the usually unasked question, what's in it for me? Understanding that people are motivated by self-interest helps us to understand how and why they're motivated to predict their behavior. Through the motivation process, employees go from need to motivate to behavior to consequence to satisfaction or dissatisfaction. A need or want motivates behavior. However, needs and motives are complex. People don't always know what their needs are or why they do the things they do. Understanding needs will help you understand behavior. Our thoughts lead to self-confidence to perform a task and meet an objective. We tend to put forth more motivational effort when we believe we'll succeed. You'll live up or down to your expectations, the self-fulfilling prophecy. How managers treat employees affects their behavior, so leader-member exchange, known as LMX, affects the employee motivation and performance. Employees tend to live up or down to their manager's expectation. Generally, a motivated employee will put forth more effort than an unmotivated one to do a good job. Motivation does affect performance. Recall that a theory helps us to understand, explain, and predict behavior. However, there's no single, universally accepted theory of how to motivate people. The hierarchy of needs theory proposes that employees are motivated by 5 levels of needs. Abraham Maslow developed this theory in the 1940s. People have 5 levels of needs, listed here in hierarchical order from highest to lowest. Psychological needs. These are people's basic needs for air, water, food, shelter, sex, and relief from or avoidance of pain. Safety needs. Once they satisfy their psychological needs, people are concerned with safety and security. Social needs. After establishing safety, people look for love, friendship, acceptance, and affection. After they meet their social needs, people focus on acquiring status, self-respect, recognition for accomplishments, and a feeling of self-confidence and prestige. The highest level need is to develop one's full potential. To do so, people seek growth, achievement, and advancement. Today, a manager's critical task is to show sensitivity to employees' needs. Managers should meet employees' lower level needs first so that those needs then focus on meeting higher level needs. Although the hierarchy of needs is not supported by research, businesses do attempt to meet them. The ERG theory proposes that employees are motivated by 3 needs. To apply ERG theory, you must determine which employee needs have been met and which have not been met or have been frustrated. Then, you must plan how to meet unsatisfied needs. In the 1950s, Frederick Herzberg classified 2 sets of needs he called factors. Herzberg combined lower-level needs into one classification he called maintenance factors and higher-level needs into one classification that he called motivators. The 2-factor theory proposes that employees are motivated by motivators. Maintenance factors are also called extrinsic motivators because the motivation comes from outside the job. Motivators are called intrinsic motivators because the motivation comes from the work itself. Based on their research, Herzberg and his associates disagreed with the traditional view that satisfaction and dissatisfaction were at opposite ends of a single continuum. Instead, they proposed 2 continuums, one for each type. Herzberg contended that addressing maintenance factors will keep employees from being dissatisfied, but it will not make them satisfied or motivate them. Organizations need to ensure that employees are not dissatisfied with maintenance factors and then focus on motivating them through their jobs. Employees are motivated when they feel they're doing meaningful work. One successful way to motivate employees is to build challenges and opportunities for achievement into their jobs. Job enrichment, the job characteristics model, and delegating can be effective motivators. Employees are motivated by their needs for achievement, power, and affiliation. It's also called learned needs and the three needs theory. David McClellan does not have a classification for lower level needs. Unlike the other content theories, the acquired needs theory holds that needs are based on personality and developed and learned as people interact with an environment. All people possess the needs for achievement, power, and affiliation, but to varying degrees. One of the three needs tends to be dominant in each individual and motivates his or her behavior. People with a high need for achievement tend to want to make personal responsibility for solving problems. They are goal-oriented. They set moderate, realistic, and attainable goals. People with a high need for power have a take-charge attitude. They tend to want to control a situation, to influence or control others, to enjoy competition in which they can win, and to be willing to confront others. People with a high need for affiliation tend to seek close relationships with others, to want to be liked by others, to enjoy social activities, and to seek to belong. They like to interact with other people rather than being alone. People have different needs and profiles and must be motivated and led differently. Let's face it, we're all not equal, but we want to be treated fairly with mutually beneficial relationships. Employees' perceptions of being treated fairly affects their attitude and performance. So we need to be honest and fair to develop trusting relationships to motivate others. When managers are unfair and abusive, they can demotivate employees and hurt performance. Equity theory proposes employees are motivated when their perceived inputs equal outputs. We compare our inputs, effort and so forth, and outputs, praise, recognition, pay, and so on, to those of relevant others. A relevant other could be a coworker or a group of employees from the same or different organizations. Notice that the definition says that employees compare their perceived, not actual, inputs to outputs. Equity may actually exist. Using equity theory in practice can be difficult because you don't know employees' reference groups and their views of inputs and outcomes. Managers can help control employee perceptions of fairness by following perceptions congruence. Managers should be aware that equity is based on perception, which may not be correct. Managers should not play favorites, but instead should treat employees equally but in unique ways. Rewards should be equitable. Employees producing at the same level should be given equal rewards. Employees who perceive they're working harder than others and for less pay may decrease performance. High performance should be rewarded, but employees must understand the inputs needed to attain certain outputs. While using incentive pay, managers should clearly specify the exact requirements to achieve the incentive. A manager should be able to state objectively why one person got a higher merit raise than another. The first step in self-motivation is knowing what you want to accomplish. The goal-setting theory proposes that achievable but difficult goals motivate employees. Goals influence the way we think, feel, and behave. They help structure our effort towards achieving a goal. One of the key drivers of effective team outcomes is the motivation of team members, so leaders need to motivate both individuals and teams. Don't set easy goals because most employees will just do the minimum. Don't simply tell employees to do their best because they most likely will not perform well and will use the excuse that they did not their best when they really didn't. For goals to be motivational, they must be difficult but achievable with commitment. Expectancy theory says employees are motivated when they believe they can accomplish a task. Based on Victor Vroom's formula for motivation, 3 important variables determine motivation. Expectancy refers to the person's perception of their ability, probability to accomplish an objective. Generally, the higher one's expectancy, the better the chance for motivation. Instrumentality refers to the perception of the relationship between performance and the outcome or reward that will actually be gained. Valence refers to the value a person places on the outcome. Generally, the higher the value, importance of the outcome, the better the chance of motivation. Clearly define objectives and the performance needed to achieve them. Tie performance to rewards. High performers should be rewarded more than low ones. Be sure rewards have value to employees. Get to know employees as individuals. Letting employees speak about their rewards they want and giving them results and higher levels of motivation will result in performance. Be sure employees believe that you will do what you say you will do. B.F. Skinner contended that in order to motivate employees, there is no need to identify and meet needs. Instead, you need to understand the relationship between behaviors and their consequences and then reinforce desirable behaviors and discourage undesirable behaviors. People respond to consequences and will behave as you want them to if you find the right incentives. By changing our behavior through developing new habits, we can change our lives. With reinforcement theory, consequences will motivate employees to behave in certain ways. It's about teaching and learning behavior, and it's called operant conditioning and is used to shape behavior. Employees learn what is not desired behavior as a result of the consequences for specific behaviors, which they engage in to meet the needs of self-interest. If you make something more or less attractive, people will do more or less of it. Motivation is important, but you may be wondering, how do these theories fit together? The groups of theories are complementary. Each refers to a different stage in the motivation process or answers a different question. Content motivation theories answer this question: what needs do employees have that should be met on the job? Process motivation theories answer another question: how do employees choose behavior to fulfill their needs? Reinforcement theory is not concerned about meeting needs. It answers a different question: what can managers do to get employees to behave in ways that meet organizational objectives? Successful careers are usually based on two factors: knowing what you like to do and doing what you're good at. Recall that you become what you think about, or you think what you get. To be self-motivated, you need to have a positive attitude about yourself and your job. Managers need to take action to motivate employees. However, what motivates one person may not motivate another, so it's important to know people as individuals to engage them. However, that's not easy because managers are expected to treat employees uniformly and consistently while considering individual needs and sometimes making exceptions that can be perceived as unfair by others. The answer: what's in it for me? Companies develop motivational systems that include rewards and recognition that will create a motivational climate and culture. People respond to incentives and rewards and recognition and motivational incentives, so they're also called incentive systems. Some of the many types of rewards and recognition include good compensation and flexible work schedules. Companies are paying closer attention to the needs of working parents and being more flexible with work hours. Women with children under 18 spend twice as much time as men on childcare. Many companies offer pay for performance, including bonuses, profit sharings, and stock option. You can even give your own rewards and recognition to your department employees.